which you're being taken, being taken and formulated in Sarovar hotels these days in this trying time?
A very good morning to everyone. Um, uh, just to take from the question, yes, see, these times are very, as Ms. Sujata very correctly mentioned, these times are very different from what we have seen before. You know, from a economic slowdown to other aspects, even to 9/11, etc. You never seen a condition or a place where people are locked down. So this is something where uh, it is like you're going to office on a Thursday and you get the news that from Monday onwards for 21 days there's a proper lockdown, so you can't come out of home. And we have been dealing with situations where people hardly get time to sleep in hotels, from a hospitality aspect. So specifically hotels, people are having long shifts. They are working very hard. General managers are working till late in the night, and suddenly 21 days lockdown. And difficult to comment because we don't know what is the condition state wise, whether Delhi, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Kerala. We will slowly things will unfold as to what is going to take place on 14th or probably 13th when some news comes from a aspect for the employees. Yes, uh, in these kind of times, one has to see the positives also. So one of the aspects that we have done is that we are connected with everyone. So we also, as Ms. Sujata was mentioning, as Richard was mentioning, are connected with all our employees mostly. So we are, believing in the culture of Zoom call also that we've seen now. So we are connected through Zoom calls, through Skype. We are having discussions. There is a different team altogether which is looking into the main management, crisis, how to deal with everything, whether it is a small thing in the hotel or probably in the office. We are having a discussion almost 3 times, 4 times a week. And when I say we, I mean the main, heads who lead their departments, the management. Twice, thrice in a week, we are taking measures. And whenever we want to talk, otherwise, we are just connecting through Zoom, which is also very, very new. We are used to taking the phone calls and talking to people. So now we are slowly getting used to this whole culture that probably for some times in the coming times also, we will have to do Zoom calls, we'll have to be connected on Skype. And these are some measures that we are taking on a general note. For the employees overall, we are pushing the hotels, which they are doing naturally, connected with all the employees through Zoom to meet employees, to try to motivate the employees. There are time situations where in hotels, I'm sure in other hotel chains, in other companies also, people are right now also stuck in the hotels also. There are places where in accommodations people are stuck. Suddenly the lockdown has been announced and there was no time to book their tickets to travel out to their hometowns. So they are away from home. And this is also a very new and probably a depressing, situation for them, even the people in the hotels. So how do you keep occupied? So wherever a possibility is there, we are all the general managers, wherever these situations are there, they are taking a time. We are telling them to speak to them on a regular basis. Yoga, reading books, motivational books, biographies, autobiographies, playing games, indoor games, basic things which we used to, not we used to push before the lockdown, and we used to give it a thought, and it used to be an added point that okay, this is a positive thing that a hotel has done. Now is becoming the norm of the day, the culture, where we are suddenly realizing that these are the things that you can do. You can't do anything more. Business is not there. Hotels will look at the possibilities only after 15. So this is where leadership quality comes in, where general managers, where they are facing the situation where the staff is stuck, some of the staff is stuck. They are motivating the employees. They are doing Zoom calls. They are giving motivational talks. what motivated them in the first place to take up hospitality as a career, who are their favorite motivating leaders, etc. So these are the things that they are talking about. Yoga and other aspects, meditation is also being talked about. They are practicing it. We are also doing Zoom calls with our staff. We are talking to them on a regular basis. We are in touch with them. First things first, as a culture, we are inquiring about employees and about their safety and family also. So this is also something that we, constantly when you are in touch, work is something else, and positivity, motivation is something which we are doing. One of the first things that we had done as a company when the lockdown had taken place, we had created a small policy which was best work from home practices that companies are doing in general, and we should follow. So we had done a Zoom call for almost everyone, where we had shared these best practices also with everyone, and we had run through it through a Zoom call, which probably we'll be doing more, because as they say, a very small example: you in the office, you miss the call of some important people, say around 3 o'clock, 3:30. It is normal to give a call back and say, "Sorry, boss, I missed your call." No, when the lockdown is not there, you can speak and there's no issue. But what do you do in a lockdown situation where you are working from home? What is the culture that you have to build? So that is something that we did, one of the first things. And we are believing in connecting more and more in the coming weeks, in the coming days before 15, to motivate people. And all our leaders are taking turn day by day to connect with everyone across for motivation speaks. So these are some of the measures that we are doing.
Thank you, Nihar. Any participant who wants to ask any from Nihar would go ahead. Anybody has a question?
Yeah, hi Nihar, this is Shiv from Leisure Hotels.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, how are you? Nihar, just a question, and I think this is a question for the entire panel. Considering what the hotel industry is up against now, I think somehow March has gotten through. April and May is the big question right now. Business not picking up, etc. What would be the stand of HR leaders in terms of handling the workforce going forward, controlling payrolls, etc.? What are your views on it? What is everybody looking at? What's happening in the industry? We all know what Marriott and Hyatt, etc., all the bigger brands have done. So, what is our take on it?
So, a positive question, definitely. Just to share a very relevant question in these times. So, at this time, to be frank with you, I'm sure you must be aware. Right now, it is a little difficult to comment till 15th comes. So, as it has been seen, there are the hotels are the exceptions. So they are in business, but customers are not there. There has been a health scare where many employees obviously have preferred to immediately go to their hometowns, because health is one of the main aspects which is of that. And we are looking into aspects about what happens once 15th opens. So one of the things that we have done, we are creating a point where we are making an action plan that what to do after 14th, when the hotel is opening and the operations, and how to go about it from that aspect in terms of work requirement, the kind of business that will come in, etc. And just to mention that yes, it will be a situation where uh, can't comment before 15th, because we are waiting for state wise and otherwise also to see what the government would do on 14th. It has been a very different and very absurd situation. But I will like to add that probably the situation is not going to be extremely positive from a work aspect. So there will be limited demand, which will lead to other aspects as and when we go ahead. But difficult to say on a general note that what will happen till 15th comes. We are waiting eagerly for 15th to come for the lockdown to open.
Hoping it opens.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Tata, you have any comment on this?
Well, similar to what Nihar said, but I'll say for the month of March, as an organization, we are definitely taking care of everyone because it is people have gone through a lot of trauma. As an organization, it is a responsibility to ensure that we do that. Having said that, April, let's see, 15th onwards, let's hope that, I think the government also, we will sure hope that the hotel industry will receive, hospitality will receive, some magical wand from the government, sort of a thing, I will say. So, yeah, let's wait and watch. Of course, it has to be sustainable for hotels to survive. The main intention will be to protect jobs. So there is a lot of discussion as to how do we do that. So yeah, as I said,